Good evening, everyone. Actually, it's good morning. I've been doing some work around here, working on well, where I'm from, you have a lot of grass to mow. So I have a John Deere lawnmower that's got a few hours on it, and you have to take care of it. So I kind of did a little bit of a overhaul to it. Anyway, hope everyone's having a good one out there. I want to talk about the three positions that you need to have complete supreme title over to get yourself freed up from their jurisdiction and adjudication to get you in. Now, when you walk into that courtroom, per se, or everything's a court, everything you do is a court. When you're dealing with a corporation, it's a court. You're holding contract law with them, and it depends on how you come in on that contract law, is how you're going to perform on that contract, and how you're going to result on what the contract and who the beneficiary is. Because it's all a trust issue. Every bit of it's a trust issue. Land, air, and water. Do not forget this. Land, air, and water. Let's start with the top position. Think of it, think of the earth. Okay, here's the earth. That's better. Think of the earth. Above the earth, you have air, correct? Well, above the earth is what you have is air. Well, what is air above the earth in law? Well, it's actually the A in law. Although it's not the first letter, it's the middle letter of A in law, LAW. Air is the top position in any setting, and it's trust law. Why is that? Because everything is, you are a SDK trust. It's about trust. You're the subject matter jurisdiction in any contract, in any trust situation, and in any title situation. So, to get down to this, you have air. You need to have title in air. Well, let's go down to title and trust law. Whenever you're in a court situation, they're probating you. I know it says in the code, specifically in my state, and it'll transfer to other states in the code, that the probate court is always open. Always open. So they're putting you through intestate succession. What's intestate mean? Proving a will. Intestate succession. Dying without a will. Well, do you walk in, or do you have a trust? Do you have a will document that's been recorded? Did you draw one up? If you don't have one in hand, let's say you walk into a court, then there's one error you found right there. Now they can adjudicate you in trust. Guess everything else. Guess what? Everything else now doesn't matter. Because now they have you, they can take your executorship and administrate you. Executor is administrator. And so contract, you just well throw that out the window because you don't even need to get to that yet. That's water. Title, we don't even need to get to that yet. It doesn't matter if you're the king or not. You don't have your trust in order. You don't have a will. You're dying without a will. So they're going to adjudicate you on that will, and the district attorney is going to be the beneficiary, and the judge is going to be the executor, and you're going to be the trustee for the debt. You're going to lose your third party intervenership, the third party of interest, the only real party of interest. But if you don't raise it, you waive it. If you don't prove it, you lose it. It has to be proved out. You have to walk in with that. Or If you're in any contract situation with a bank or a corporation, and they want to say, well, you're a debtor, well, just show them your trust papers. Well, they've got to be notarized. They have to be filed. If you have an authenticated birth certificate, you take that. After you get it, you send it to your state to the apostille department. You get it apostilled. Now it's registered on the record. That's a quarter record now. You have that record. Now you are superior or supreme title. Excuse me, supreme title. Superior title is God's law. That's God's arena. But supreme is your arena, and you want to hold supremeship. Well, God, the superior, has given you that position. So when He's your source, He's your superiority to have supreme title. You're an heir and a joint heir. And actually, you're an heir and a beneficiary to the estate. And actually, you're a sibling. You're an adoptee. You're a third party intervener. Okay, so now we get trust law covered. You have a trust in place, you have a will in place, properly recorded, and it's the instrument now is Uniform Commercial Code is proved out. It's proved out. Okay, so now let's go to number 2. Air is now accomplished. You got it covered. Number 2, here's the earth. You got air covered now. Well, if you go to battle in a war, you want to cover that air. You want to get superiority in a war case situation of air first. You want to be able to conquer them in the air first and have superiority in that air. So you have the same thing in when you're dealing with trust in a court situation or any situation you're working with, and they want to call you a debtor. Number 2, what's below the air? Land. Now we're talking common law. Now we're talking title. Are you the king? Are you an American national? Are you an American state national under United States Code? Well, one way you can do that is do a affidavit of repudiation and of status. Your status is an American state national. Now you can do that through I'm thinking of the word. Sorry, it's late. You can do it through what am I? Not a diploma, um, a passport. Thank you. You're in port. How are you porting in? Think of yourself as a vessel on a ship. How's your vessel porting in? Are you porting in as a debtor vessel, or are you porting in as a creditor vessel? Or are you being overtaken and now they've claimed you and you're coming in there with a tail between your legs and they can get on your vessel and steal your goods? Or are you the captain of that vessel? You're the king of it, correct? That's how you handle it by land. You can do that by your passport with an affidavit of repudiation, stating and declaring by affidavit, which when it goes for 21 days, I believe it's 21 days undisputed, which it will, then it's fact, it's law. Now they can't adjudicate that because now you have an American state national passport. Well, you got to go to the passport office and get your DS-11 and fill that out correctly and not as a debtor. It's all in the spelling, and make sure you don't mark U.S. citizen on it. And then when you file that, you say you're American state national. I have everything in order. I have my affidavit of repudiation. And in addition, here's my apostille document that's stating that that I have title over my trust and status. And I'd even take it further that that apostille ship will cover that area too. But you can even go in addition and do this passport. That's what I was saying before. The apostille document over your birth certificate does make you an American state national. I don't know how any clearer you can get than that because your full faith and credit and annexed your securities. Well, there's no other question. If all crimes are commercial, then you commercially own everything. Then I would say you're an American state national. You're the king of your vessel, and contractually, there's nothing they can do above you because you're the donor and grantor and executor. There's no disputing. There's no adjudicating it. But let's keep on this subject for a minute because there's a woman I'm talking to on here, and bless her heart, who's going through some problems. I'm trying to help. So what you need to do is make sure you have that into place if they're messing with you. They're messing with you and they're wanting to fingerprint you and they're wanting to do all this other stuff to you because you don't have supreme title in one of those three areas, or it's not recorded properly, or it's not under the right heading of an apostille document that's recorded in the state you were born in. Who took you and declared you dead by a certificate on a birth certificate? That's how you do that. So there's two areas covered. Now you have your trust on air, and you have your will. You're not intestate succession. You're not trying to die or prove a will. There's nothing to adjudicate. Your will is in your hand. You've claimed it. You don't raise it, you waive it. So you've raised it. You've summoned it. You've claimed it. It's your property. Okay? They can't step in there by law. They're accountable to that, or they're subject to felony charges under United States Code. This is why this is important. So you have air covered. Now we have land covered. Air's covered land. Now you got the Army on the land. You've got the battlefield secured now. Now you got to bring in your Navy, water, contract, Uniform Commercial Code. You've got your contracts in order now. Well, how do you get your contract in order? You get your business. You're doing business as. You file that under your apostleship and under your authenticated birth certificate. Now it's all recorded. All three of them are certified, registered recordings, and it's publicly noticed in their office, in their state, in their foreign jurisdiction. Now they've been noticed. And you stand on the de jure side saying, I've showed him my cards now. I call. I call. Boom. Lay your cards on the table. Sorry. Shook it. Now you have them covered. So there's nothing to be adjudicated there in all three of those areas. So with the contract law, you can even take that further deeper into that. And you can go into the U.S. Patent and Trade Office and you file for your American State National and you're doing business as. You have your DBA. You get all that in the U.S. Patent and Trademark your name. It's your business, doing business as. Just like the state's done with a marriage contract. They've patented that. That's why child support and all this other stuff comes into play. And it's so heavy duty with them because they have it patented. They're sole owners of it and it's recorded under contract. Well, when you take care of your vessel on the sea under maritime law, international maritime law, now you have that covered under contract. So you take that US patent and you apply for a little business license in the state. Yeah, take your vessel and apply it for a business license. I'm talking your SDK trust. Your all caps name is your vessel. Take it. You got your U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, and then you can even put your if you have children or siblings, or you can put them under yours, and then now you own them too, and the child protective services can't come and take your stuff because now they can't interfere with commerce under United States code. See, that's the indemnification you have to hold them at bay as United States code. The corporation's subject to it, but you're not subject to it because now you're no longer a U.S. citizen. Under trust, under under land and title, and under contract. You cover those three areas, you win. There's nothing to adjudicate. Nothing. So then they can't take you down and get your fingerprint. Then they can't take you down and they can try to have a court hearing on you, but when you walk in with all those papers filed correctly into the case and you show up with your will and trust in hand and you walk in there by special appearance, not wavering in your rights under statutes or codes or procedure, you show up as the king. You will go in there by special appearance. Now you have general appearance. When you go in there by general appearance and you don't raise special appearance, then you're going in as the debtor. You're a U.S. citizen. You want to go in by special appearance. It says that in the U.S. Code on how you go in and you present yourself. This is how you do it on the private side. Private doesn't mix with public, so don't mix any of the two together. If you're going to be private, stay private, and you'll be victorious over public every time. Stay private. Stay supreme in all three of those areas. Law, air, land, and water, or law, land, air, and water. Most important, like I said, once again, air, then land, then water. The judge will wear three different hats in there, and they'll test you on all three of them. And if you don't have those in place, and you don't show up in there, if you have to go to a hearing by special appearance, then you're going to get trampled over. That's the long and the short of it. I know I've done this. I've done it by special appearance. Isn't it interesting how on one of them, before I even knew what I knew now, how I had two positions in that courtroom when I went in. One was the defendant, and when I showed up by special appearance, now I was the plaintiff. I have that on record. I have proof of it. How do you go in and be a defendant, and then after you declare special appearance, now they have a plaintiff? That's how. That's how. Be encouraged, people. This is how you do it. This is how you get your freedom back. Now, it even goes more into depth into this, but I wanted to address this issue specifically because someone that I've been talking to seems a little confused in this area and they're going through some problems. I'm trying to help, and I hope this helps, and I hope it helps others. All right? It's late. I'm going to check out here now. I've said my piece. But remember, have supreme title, supreme over all of those. When you do, there's nothing to adjudicate. You have it all on paper as a foreign state, American state national, and it's recorded in their jurisdiction. And you have evidence of it. And so do they. And they can't deny any of it. And now they'll be in malfeasance of office or as trustees, or they will be under capital felony treason. And they could be subject to fines and prosecution and felony charges. 200, excuse me, $250,000 an incident and jail time. I don't think a lot of them want to play with that. Do you? Dismissed. Or you may not say anything and just write it off. We're walking away from this one. Take it off the record. Expunge it. That happens too. So be encouraged. Take care of your business. Be free. And get free. Love you all. I hope this helps.